In 2011, researchers at the Henry Ford Health System in Detroit ran a study that the pet industry quietly ignored. They collected dust samples from 173 homes. Some had breeds marketed as hypoallergenic, poodles, Spanish water dogs, Labradoodles. Others had standard-coded breeds like Labradors and standard poodles. Then they measured CanF1 levels. CanF1 is the primary protein responsible for dog allergies. It comes from skin cells, saliva, and urine. It's what your immune system is actually attacking when you start sneezing around dogs. The result? No statistically significant difference in CanF1 levels between hypoallergenic homes and non-hypoallergenic homes. The study was published in the American Journal of Rhinology and Allergy. It hasn't changed a single breeder's marketing. The word hypoallergenic was invented by a cosmetics company in 1953. Clairol used it to describe a low-irritation mascara. There was no scientific standard then. There is no scientific standard now. When it migrated to dog breeding, it carried nothing with it except marketing value. No regulatory body defines it. No laboratory certifies it. It is a word that legally means nothing attached to animals that biologically cannot deliver what it implies. If a dog has skin and a mouth, it produces allergens. Breed 1. The Labradoodle Wally Conran bred the first Labradoodle in 1988. He worked for the Royal Guide Dogs Association of Australia and was trying to produce a guide dog for a visually impaired woman whose husband was allergic. The cross V worked in that specific case. What happened next was not what he intended. By the 1990s, Doodles had become a commercial product. Conran himself said in a 2019 interview with Psychology Today, "I opened a Pandora's box, that's what I did. I released a Frankenstein." He was describing what uncontrolled crossbreeding did to the coat genetics he'd been trying to stabilize. Here's the actual genetics. Coat type in Labradoodles is controlled by two primary genes, RSPO2 and FGF5. Poodle coats carry a specific variant of RSPO2 that produces tight curls and low shedding. Labrador coats don't. When you cross them, the offspring can inherit either variant or a combination that produces something visually poodle-like but genetically unstable underneath. The result is a coat that looks low-shedding from the outside while trapping weeks of shed hair inside the curl pattern. Brush a neglected doodle, and what comes out is not just hair. It's compressed dander, dried saliva residue, and concentrated CanF1, released all at once, into the air, into your hands, into the room. Some doodles genuinely do shed minimally. F1B generation dogs, 75% poodle, have more reliable outcomes, but that requires genetic coat testing before purchase. Most breeders don't offer it. Most buyers don't know to request it. Breed 2. The Yorkshire Terrier. Yorkies have a single-layer coat with a longer growth cycle than double-coated breeds. The hair-not-fur framing is technically grounded. The shaft structure is different, and seasonal shedding is minimal. What the marketing doesn't say is that Yorkies shed continuously, year-round, in fine, lightweight strands that don't fall visibly to the floor. They float. They settle on surfaces. They're nearly impossible to track. But shedding is secondary. The real issue is dander output. A 2012 study published in PLOS One tested CanF1 concentrations across multiple breeds marketed as hypoallergenic versus standard breeds. Yorkies showed no meaningful reduction in allergen production compared to non-hypoallergenic breeds. Sebaceous glands, the structures that secrete CanF1, are active regardless of coat texture. A Yorkie's small body-to-skin surface ratio means those glands cover a lot of ground relative to the dog size. The dander is constant, and because Yorkies are lapdogs held close to faces, the exposure rate per hour of contact is among the highest of any small breed. Breed 3. The Maltese. The Maltese sheds very little. On that point, the marketing is not wrong. What it omits is grooming. A Maltese coat grows continuously and without regular maintenance develops mats that press against the skin and cause irritation. Professional grooming every 6 to 8 weeks is not optional. It's a biological requirement of the coat. At current rates in most cities, that runs $80 to $140 per session. But the cost is not the story. What happens during grooming is the story. Every grooming session disturbs weeks of accumulated dander. It releases dried saliva from the coat. Maltese are fastidious self-groomers and distribute saliva throughout their fur constantly. A single thorough brushing redistributes more allergen into the air than a Labrador walking across the room. The Maltese is low shedding. It is not low allergen. Those are different things, and the industry uses them interchangeably because one of them sells puppies and the other one doesn't. Breed 4. The Schnauzer Schnauzers have a wire coat, harsh outer layer, dense soft undercoat. This coat type doesn't shed outward the way a Labrador does. The shed undercoat gets caught between layers and sits against the dog's skin. This matters because skin temperature accelerates allergen production. Dander sitting trapped against a warm body is being continuously exposed to heat and oil secretion. By the time it's disturbed, through petting, grooming, or the dog scratching itself, the concentration of CAN-F1 per particle is higher than in freshly shed dander. Schnauzers also have elevated sebaceous activity as a breed characteristic. The distinctive smell of an unwashed Schnauzer comes from that oil production. Higher oil output correlates directly with higher CAN-F1 output. The low-shedding appearance of the breed obscures an allergen profile that is not low at all. Breed 5. The Xoloitzcuintli. This is the one that inverts everything you think you know. The Xoloitzcuintli has been used as a companion animal for over 3,000 years. Aztec artifacts place it at burial sites. It is among the oldest documented breeds on Earth. In modern allergy discussions, it gets recommended constantly because the hairless variety has no coat. No coat means no hair carrying dander around your home. The logic seems clean. The Henry Ford study from 2011 covered this directly. Homes with hairless breeds showed no reduction in CAN-F1 levels compared to coated breeds. The mechanism is straightforward. Without a coat to absorb skin oils, those oils sit at full concentration on the surface of the skin. Every time the dog makes contact with a surface, your hand, your couch, your pillow, it deposits undiluted sebaceous secretion carrying CAN-F1 directly onto that surface. In coated dogs, the fur absorbs a portion of that oil before it reaches external surfaces. The coat is a partial buffer. Remove the coat and you remove the buffer. Some allergy sufferers react more severely to Xolos than to standard coated dogs, not less, more. The hairless dog, sold as the terminal solution to dog allergies, can be the worst possible choice for the exact population it's marketed to. What actually matters when you have a dog allergy is not a label. It is a specific IgE blood test for CAN-F1 and CAN-F2 proteins, the two primary dog allergens. Some people react to one and not the other. Some breeds produce less CAN-F2 in documented studies, though the data is inconsistent across individuals. Knowing which protein drives your reaction gives you a biological basis for a decision. Spending time with the specific dog, not the breed, before purchase gives you actual exposure data. Individual dogs within the same breed vary significantly in allergen output. A breeder offering a hypoallergenic guarantee is offering you a word with no definition backed by a claim with no science. That is what you are paying for when you pay the premium. The industry knows the 2011 study exists. It keeps using the word anyway. If you want the truth about dogs without the marketing fluff, subscribe to Amazing Dogs. See you in the next breakdown.